So, we're going to dive into some pretty incredible stuff today. An ancient spiritual technology that's all about how you can essentially edit your own future. And the secret? It's hidden in the cosmic window of this very month, the month of Aries. I mean, really think about it. What if you could influence the script of your life for the next year? The challenges, the conflicts, the victories. What if you had the power to shape all of it right now, before the movie of your year is even created? Well, according to ancient wisdom from sources like the Book of Formation, this month, which you might know as Aries in astrology or Nisan in the Hebrew calendar, is exactly that opportunity. This isn't just another month on the calendar, it's a cosmic opening for you to take charge. And this brings us to a really important idea called Keter. You see, in Kabbalah, Aries is considered the head or the seed level of the entire year. It's like a seed that contains the DNA for a whole tree. In the same way, the first couple of weeks of this month hold the energetic DNA for the next 11 months. So the actions you take right now, they are literally planting the seeds for your future. Okay, so if we have all this power, why do so many of us feel kind of stuck? You know that feeling? That persistent sense of lack, that constant hunger for something more. Well, the answer actually lies in the planet that rules this month. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The Book of Formation teaches that Mars, the planet ruling Aries, was created by the Hebrew letter Dalet. And the word Dalet, it comes from the Hebrew word for poorness or lack. Just think about that for a second. A consciousness of lack is literally baked into the energy of this time. It's the spiritual root of that not enoughness feeling that drives so many of us. And that consciousness of lack is exactly what fuels the simple ego of Aries. It's that childlike urge for instant gratification, right? That I want it here, I want it now feeling. And that leads to reactive behavior, that whole my way or the highway mentality. And it really becomes the root of all our internal wars. It's this constant battle between our soul and this nagging feeling of lack. But here's where we do a radical reframe. What if that intense burning desire isn't the problem at all? What if it's actually the solution? You know, a foundational text of Kabbalah, the Zohar, tells us that nothing stands before desire. Now, a lot of spiritual paths teach us to lessen our desire, to want less. But Kabbalah says the complete opposite. Desire is a holy force. It's the engine for every single achievement. The problem isn't the desire itself, it's all about how we direct it. So this is where we have a choice. We can have a desire for the self alone, which is all about trying to fill our own feeling of lack. And yeah, that leads to temporary fulfillment, like a quick fix that never ever lasts. Or we can shift to a desire to share, using our energy to fill the lack in others. And this is where this amazing principle called returning light comes in. When you share, you don't just drain your own battery. It's more like pouring water into a system of pipes. The water you give out actually circulates and comes right back to you, filling you up in the process. You're creating a sustainable spiritual circuit. And guess what? The fulfillment that comes back is permanent. Okay, that sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually do it? Well, the ancient Kabbalists left us a toolkit, basically a set of spiritual technologies designed just for this month. We've got 3 key tools we can use. The power of restriction, something called matzah, which acts as a kind of spiritual medicine, and this great one called the act as if principle. Let's break them down. First up, restriction. And look, this isn't about denying yourself pleasure. Not at all. It's about building spiritual muscle. Every single time you pause and push back against that reactive urge for an immediate reward, you're strengthening your willpower. You're creating space to choose that real, long-term fulfillment over a cheap, short-term fix. All right, tool number 2 is a technology that helps us actually internalize that power of restriction. It's called matzah. During the window of Passover this month, this simple, unleavened bread becomes an incredibly powerful spiritual tool. It is not just food, it's a technology for rewiring our entire consciousness. So, what's the secret? It's all in the preparation. From the moment water touches the flour, the bakers have exactly 18 minutes to get it in the oven. That's it. This physically stops the dough from rising, from expanding. It's a physical representation of desire with restriction. So when you eat matzah during this specific cosmic window, you are metaphorically and energetically ingesting the willpower to overcome your ego. It's like taking a spiritual medicine that strengthens your ability to resist all those reactive, selfish desires that come from that consciousness of lack. And our final tool is for changing your energy on the fly. Act as if. If you feel stuck in a negative fire like anger or sadness, don't just sit there and wait for the feeling to change. Act with a positive fire. Physically behave as if you are happy, as if you are enthusiastic. This actually triggers a real change in your brain chemistry and, according to the Kabbalists, your spiritual frequency. It really works. So with these tools in hand, we can actually begin this incredible inner journey. And this journey is all about transforming the very symbol of Aries itself and redefining what true strength really looks like. You know, when we think of Aries, we usually think of the ram, aggressive, headstrong, ruled by Mars and the ego. But here's something most people don't know. The original Hebrew word for the sign doesn't mean ram. It actually translates to lamb. And that represents a completely different kind of power, one that's based on humility, sensitivity, and true leadership. There's this amazing teaching that asks why were great leaders like Moses and King David first shepherds? Because true power isn't about brute force. It's about sensitivity. The story goes that God chose Moses after seeing him run after a single thirsty lamb that strayed from a flock of thousands, just to give it a drink. That empathy, that's the real mark of a true leader. And this, right here, brings us to the real meaning of freedom. It's not about doing whatever your ego wants in the moment. No way. True freedom is breaking the internal chains of your past habits, your reactive nature, and your old limiting behaviors. It's about an exodus from your own inner slavery. So this month, you are the warrior, but the battle isn't with anyone else. The fight is against the negativity inside yourself. You're harnessing the powerful, fiery energy of Aries, not for conflict with others, but for your own inner transformation. So, let's just do a quick recap. What are the key takeaways? Number 1, acknowledge that feeling of lack as the real root of your reactivity. 2, consciously shift your desire from just getting to sharing. 3, use small acts of restriction to build up that spiritual muscle. And finally, number 4, choose the quiet strength of the lamb, sensitivity and empathy, over the loud ego of the ram. So I'll leave you with a final question. A challenge, really. Taking all this ancient wisdom and making it real. What's just one instant gratification habit you'll choose to restrict this week to start taking control of your year? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you want to continue this journey, subscribe and join our community as we unlock the spiritual technology of all 12 cosmic gates of the year together.